what does he think? We're stupid? And the people online that are trying to pretend that we are the ones betraying Trump for holding him accountable to his promises that he made to us when we voted for him, when we encouraged other people to vote for him. You're pretending that we're the ones that are problematic. This level of gaslighting that's taking place. You got Laura Loomer out there saying, screenshot every tweet that's against Donald Trump. Let me tell you something, sweetheart. You better start capturing Donald Trump's tweets that are going out right now because they seem pretty against Donald Trump's ideas of yesteryear. That's all I'm saying.
I never thought I'd say it, but I'm regretting my vote for Donald Trump. We were promised things that aren't being delivered.
The Republican budget bill is awful, terrible, and horrible in 1,000 different ways, but let's not lose track of one of the biggest. It represents the largest broken promise to date of a Trump administration that has been full of nothing but broken promises. Donald Trump promised everything on the campaign trail, and one of the things he promised, he was going to be fiscally responsible. He was going to get us back to a balanced budget, and he blamed the Democrats for raising the debt and increasing the deficit. And now he is jamming through a piece of legislation that will add $3.5 trillion to the debt. I mean, how bald-faced do these lies have to be before we all wake up and hold Trump accountable for those lies? This is a dishonest effort that is going back on a central promise. Yes, it also cuts health care, takes food away from poor people, and does all kinds of awful things. But let's hold Trump accountable for the promises he made and now is breaking. He is about to make our debt higher than it's ever been, driving it up to as much as $52 trillion by the time this is done. Stand up, put pressure on the Republicans to defeat this awful bill.
Right now, Senator Thom Tillis, a Republican, is ripping the Senate budget bill apart right now on the Senate floor, calling out those in the United States Senate, Republicans, calling on them to vote no on this budget bill, telling them that if they vote yes, Donald Trump is going to break his promise to a lot of Americans. This is stunning. This is Thom Tillis right now. He's a Republican. He says, what do I tell 663,000 people in 3 years, when President Trump breaks his promise by pushing them off of Medicaid because the funding's not there anymore? The people in the White House advising the president, they're not telling him that the effect of this bill is to break a promise. He's admitting that this bill will cut Medicaid, despite what every other Republican is trying to tell you. Thom Tillis, who is a Republican, a strong Republican at that, well, he's calling out the White House, he's calling out Trump, he's calling out his fellow Republicans. The final vote on the budget bill will be tomorrow, so we'll see what happens next.
And betraying a promise. It is inescapable that this bill in its current form will betray the very promise that Donald J. Trump made in the Oval Office or in the cabinet room when I was there with finance, where he said we can go after waste, fraud, and abuse on any programs. Now, those amateurs that are advising him, not Dr. Oz, I'm talking about White House healthcare experts, refused to tell him that those instructions that were to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse all of a sudden eliminates a government program that's called the provider tax. We have morphed a legal construct that admittedly has been abused and should be eliminated into waste, fraud.
Just a reminder, yeah, he doesn't love you. Not even.
We are all these years later. Like, and I'm talking 10 years, like since 2015. And I'm still having to deal with people who say dumb shit like, I voted for the policy, not the person. Like, content of character does not matter to you. Like, our moral compasses do not work the same way. You're literally admitting that you consciously made a vote. You put your effort into putting the equivalent of a rank-ass piece of shit into the Oval Office. And you don't care. You don't care. And I don't care how you feel about this. I don't need that kind of in my life. And so I'm perfectly fine with blocking.
A lot of things that go into making decisions on who we are going to vote for. And your reasons on who you voted for are probably going to be different than mine. And that's why candidates have a lot of different promises that they make on the campaign trail. And over the last few days, as Donald Trump is going back and forth on everything that's happening in the Middle East right now, I'm seeing more and more people who supported him, who voted for him, that aren't very happy that we're on the brink of WAR. And yes, I spelled it out because TikTok doesn't always like it when we say those words. Since his inauguration, I've seen a lot of people who supported him come out and say, wait, this isn't what I voted for. This isn't what I wanted. Why are you doing this? This isn't what you said. And I just kind of want to go over some of these campaign promises that he made that he has already broken. Start with the big one. He said on day one, within 24 hours, he would end everything that is going on in Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine. Now it's June. It has not ended. He also said that he would end inflation immediately. And I have seen a lot of people come out and they're just like, well, this take time. No, okay. He said that he would end it immediately. So we're looking at the promises that he made because these are the reasons why people voted for him. He promised to cut federal spending by $2 trillion. That has not happened. In fact, he has increased it. If we look at everything he has spent on his golf trips, for all of the security that goes around that, on his going to the Super Bowl, on his military parade, he has increased federal spending instead of decreasing it. And of course, his promise to be a global peacemaker. And right now we're seeing that that is not the case. His lies and misinformation and misleading people is so rampant that even NPR found in 2024 in a 64-minute interview, he had false claims or lies 160 times. 160 times. That's more than 2 a minute. I'm always glad when I see people kind of wake up and realize that he does lie, that everything that he promised is not going to happen. But at this point, it just really feels like it's
insane. It's insane. It was always insane, and it's never going to get sane. Voting for Trump, who has been scamming people his entire life, there is an insurmountable amount of evidence of how ridiculous this human being is, how terrible this human being is, how this person takes advantage of everyone around him or under him or above him. He does not ever come through on his side of any commitment. And you guys allowed him to take office because he spoke belligerently about liberals. And that's how you guys feel on the inside, despite the fact that liberals don't want to hurt you at all. They just don't want you to be able to hurt anyone else. That's it. That's what bothers you, is that you had some first impression of what it meant to be Republican, conservative, religious, whatever it was, hateful, bigoted, and instead of recognizing your poor choices or acknowledging them, you will defend that first impression to the point that you will allow this man to take away your economy, your freedoms, your communities, and you are so prideful that you will have to be put into a grave before acknowledging that you were wrong. And it's not even convincing in the slightest. You are so wrong, and continuing to defend that makes you evil. You guys weaponize religion to persecute the people with the most in needs, the people at the lowest part of the totem pole. It is the opposite of what your faith should teach you. This is simple math. It's not hard. It's not complicated. You guys will go to any length to try to highlight what a Democrat does wrong. There's a mouse in the house. You want to find that mouse via conspiracies and highlight something somebody's did wrong and some lobbyist's money and all these dots you're willing to connect. And meanwhile, there is a giant elephant in your room. And it is Donald Trump and the Republican Party. And you fail to recognize it. You fail to see it. I'm so done pretending like we need to have conversations down the middle to show you guys some grace on this. You are ruining this country and the world. Wake up. Wake up. This is your sign to wake up. It's not hard. It is not hard.